Most people start their morning completely wrong. And here is what nobody tells you. The moment your alarm goes off, your body releases a precise hormonal cocktail designed by 200,000 years of human evolution. Cortisol spikes to 50% above its baseline. Your brain shifts into high alert. Your metabolism ignites. This is called the cortisol awakening response, and it lasts exactly 30 to 45 minutes. Scientists at the University of Bristol identified this window back in 2004 as one of the most powerful biological events of your entire day. Here is the problem. You wake up, grab your phone, and think you are starting your day. You are actually triggering a hormonal disaster that ruins your energy, focus, and metabolism before 9 a.m. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to understand exactly what is happening inside your body every single morning. Why 73% of adults report feeling exhausted by noon despite sleeping 7 hours. And what the top 1% of high performers do differently in the first 45 minutes of their day. Stay with me, because the fork in the road is closer than you think. Here is where you are standing right now. Every single morning, the moment your eyes open, your biology hands you a choice, not a metaphorical choice. A literal neurochemical fork in the road. On one side, you have a morning that works with your hormones. On the other, a morning that fights them. And the brutal truth is that most people have been taking the wrong path so consistently for so long that they have completely forgotten what the right one feels like. Think about it. When was the last time you woke up genuinely energized without needing coffee within 20 minutes? When was the last time your focus was sharp before 10 a.m.? When was the last time you felt mentally clear, physically awake, and emotionally steady before the rest of the world started demanding things from you? If you are struggling to remember, that is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And patterns have causes. So let us walk both paths, starting with the one that is quietly draining you dry. Path A looks like this. Alarm goes off. You hit snooze once, maybe twice. Already a problem. Each snooze cycle throws your sleep architecture into chaos, fragmenting what researchers call sleep inertia recovery, the 15 to 20-minute window where your brain transitions from sleep to wakefulness. You are interrupting that process every 9 minutes. Then, you pick up your phone. A 2021 study published in the journal Computers and Human Behavior found that 89% of adults check their phone within the first 10 minutes of waking. What happens neurologically in that moment is significant. Your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, gets flooded with social information, news, notifications, emails. Your cortisol, which was meant to mobilize your body for focused physical activity, instead gets hijacked by psychological stress triggers. You are essentially pouring high-octane fuel into an engine that has no road to drive on. Then comes the skipped breakfast, or the sugar-loaded option grabbed on the... Now let us talk about where this actually leads, because the damage is not just about feeling groggy for an hour. Chronically disrupted cortisol patterns have cascading downstream effects that compound over months and years. A 2019 study in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology linked consistently dysregulated morning cortisol to increased risk of metabolic syndrome, which is the cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol that collectively drive heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Your immune system takes a hit too. Cortisol is immunosuppressive by design. Short-term, that is useful. Long-term, it is damaging. Harvard Medical School researchers have documented that chronic low-grade cortisol elevation suppresses natural killer cell activity, the frontline cells your body uses to fight viral infections. And now here is what Path B actually looks like. And I want to be clear. This is not about becoming a 5 a.m. monk who meditates for an hour and juices celery before sunrise. This is about working with the biology you already have. Path B starts the night before. Yes, your morning is decided at 10 p.m. Getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is the single most powerful morning intervention science has identified. Full stop. When you wake naturally, or with a single alarm and no snooze, you allow your cortisol awakening response to complete its full arc. Now here is where it gets interesting. The first thing Path B people do is not reach for their phone. They delay phone contact for a minimum of 30 minutes. Instead, they get sunlight into their eyes within 10 minutes of waking. Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman has extensively documented how morning photons hitting the retina trigger a serotonin cascade and set your circadian clock, which directly regulates cortisol rhythm for the entire following 24 hours. Then comes hydration. 16 to 20 ounces of water before anything else. Your body loses approximately 1 liter of water through respiration and perspiration overnight. Dehydration at even 1% impairs cognitive performance by up to 12%, according to research from the University of Connecticut. Then movement. Not a marathon. 5 to 10 minutes of light physical activity, a walk, some stretching, basic bodyweight exercises. So what does consistently walking Path B actually produce? Let us look at the data, because this is not anecdote. A 2020 randomized controlled trial published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health found that participants who implemented structured morning light exposure, hydration, and movement protocols showed a 34% improvement in self-reported cognitive performance and a 28% reduction in perceived stress within just 4 weeks. 4 weeks, not months, not years. 1 month of consistent morning optimization produced measurable neurological and hormonal change. Your metabolism improves because your insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning. Feeding your body protein and complex carbohydrates after movement capitalizes on that window. Your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making, creativity, and impulse control, operates at significantly higher capacity when cortisol is regulated and blood glucose is stable. This means better decisions at work, better emotional responses in relationships, better execution on goals that matter to you. And perhaps most importantly, your energy does not collapse at 2 p.m. Because you are not running on stress hormones and caffeine. You are running on a properly functioning endocrine system that was designed to sustain you through an entire day. Now you understand both paths. So how do you actually choose? Because knowing and doing are 2 completely different neurological events. Here is the honest answer. You are not going to transform your morning by willpower alone. Research on habit formation, particularly the work of Dr. B.J. Fogg at Stanford's Behavior Design Lab, shows that successful behavior change relies on reducing friction and stacking new behaviors onto existing anchors. So here is the framework. Identify your current morning anchor. For most people, that anchor is the alarm going off. Right now, your alarm triggers phone checking. You need to rewire that trigger to a different response. Put your phone across the room. Literally. Physical distance is the simplest friction increase you can apply, and it is more effective than any amount of resolve. Your new sequence looks like this. Alarm goes off. Feet hit the floor. You drink water that you placed on your nightstand the night before. You step to a window or outside for 5 minutes of sunlight, and only after those steps do you check your phone. You have just protected your cortisol awakening response, hydrated your system, and set your circadian clock. Total additional time cost, 11 minutes. That is the difference between Path A and Path B. Not hours. Not a complete lifestyle overhaul. 11 intentional minutes. Here is your first step. And I mean one single step you take today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Tonight before you go to sleep, place a full glass of water on your nightstand and move your phone to a surface at least 6 feet away from your bed. That is it. That is your entire assignment. Because here is what will happen. When your alarm goes off tomorrow morning, you will have to physically get out of bed to silence it. You will see your water glass. You will drink it before your brain has fully decided what it wants to do. And you will have 30 seconds of phone-free morning already in the bank. Now, if you want to take things a step further, and I know a lot of you watching this are dealing with cortisol that has been chronically dysregulated for months or years, morning habits alone sometimes need additional biological support. This is where adaptogenic herbs have become genuinely interesting to researchers. Adaptogens like ashwagandha and rhodiola rosea work, by modulating the HPA axis, which is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal pathway that controls your cortisol output. A 2019 double-blind placebo-controlled trial published in Medicine found that participants taking 240 milligrams of ashwagandha extract daily showed a 23% reduction in serum cortisol levels over 60 days compared to placebo. Rhodiola rosea has similarly demonstrated in multiple trials, including a 2009 study in Phytomedicine, the ability to reduce stress-induced fatigue and support cognitive function under load. These are not magic pills. They do not replace the morning habits I just described. You came here because something in your mornings felt off. Maybe you could not name it. Maybe you just knew that the exhaustion you felt by noon did not match the hours you slept. Now you have the language for it. You have the biology. You have the mechanism. The cortisol awakening response is not a wellness trend. It is a measurable, documented, reproducible biological event that happens inside your body every single morning, whether you work with it or not. The only variable is whether you choose to. Most people will watch this video and do nothing. They will return to Path A tomorrow morning because Path A is familiar and Path B requires one deliberate choice the night before. But you are still here, at the 10-minute mark. That already tells me something about you. So here is what I want you to do right now. Subscribe to this channel because we go this deep every single week. Drop a comment below telling me one morning habit you are changing starting tonight, and share this video with one person whose mornings you know are quietly working against them. Because the people who win the day almost always win it before 9 a.m. And now you know exactly why. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Nothing constitutes medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional.